Hello everyone, welcome back to another Let's Play. This is Myrokos, and we will be continuing the Hildibrand questline with the Colosseum Conundrum. Last time we left off, we were right about to queue for Ultros. Sadly, it was too late in the evening to effectively get a group, so hopefully by starting a little bit earlier, we will be able to get in. Without further ado, let us queue and just wait the next few minutes. And here we go. I get? Got something? Oh, mind of Ultros, yes, thank you. Definitely getting that. Well, that wasn't too bad. Okay. You did it, Myrokos. With any luck, we've seen the last of that lecherous devilfish. Good show, Myrokos. Your performance has earned us front row seats at the awards ceremony. This should afford us the perfect vantage point to thwart the thief. Come, let us return to the Colosseum. Right then, we Colosseum. A most remarkable display of martial skill, my adventuring friend. Clearly, you have been observing me well in our travels together. Yeah, you keep crashing into the ground. I try to do the opposite. The ceremony will begin any moment now. Be on your guard. Our adversary may be anywhere. Or anyone. It was a battle for the ages, but a worthy victor has risen to claim the spoils. And now, let's take a look at the relic that our champion has won. Okay, what'd I get? Not a rematch. No. Behold, from the personal vaults of Master Furious himself. The Warden's Grace, a timeless treasure the likes of which our realm has never seen. One that has earned the attention of Eorzea's most prominent pilferer. We did all that for a weapon. Okay? Above you! Ladies and gentlemen, inspectors and invertebrates, the opening act dragged on overlong, but worry not, the main event is about to begin. I know that you paid well for your seats here today, but I can assure you that my performance will not leave you disappointed. Now I invite one and all to sit back and enjoy the show. Vile fiend, mark my words, you have stolen your last treasure. I swear it on the Manderville name. Ooh, I wouldn't swear something big like that. I think not, Hildibrand. Greg! 'Tis always a pleasure to reunite with old friends, but your timing truly leaves something to be desired. Myrokos, you bested me once, but not today. I shall have my revenge when I pierce your chest with my spear. Do you not mean your skewer? My spear! Oh, this is bad. They even added a laugh track, aka the audience. Vile thief! Is there not a shred of honor in you? Return my weapon at once. Oh, it seems we have an unexpected guest. I appreciate your enthusiasm, but I fear attendance at today's performance is by invitation. Oh dear. Now it's raining truffles, but the battle's already... Mr. Typhon? Just a moment. I'm sure I had a tissue here somewhere. Here's how I didn't go for it. Alas and alack, the ring sails straight into the hands of the fiend. And what are you doing? Giving up so soon, are we? Those don't sound like the words of a man or woman. But of course, brilliant father, if the ring won't come to me, I shall go to the ring. Why, it'll be just like Dalamud. This is how... Okay. Hildibrand, Heliodor, Skyward, as only a Manderville can. Father, you know not your own strength. 997, 998, 990. I'm disappointed there should be a giant crater for there. Instead, it's just him in the ground. Well, at least there's some degree of impact, but it should be a deeper impact These legs, they look strangely familiar. Yeah, put a little too much spin into that one, it seems. Not exactly as planned, but who can argue with the results? Save for one thing. This ring is a fake. What? But no matter. I have a feeling this will lead me to the true treasure. Until next time, friends, you have been a most attentive audience. That key, the bloody hells. Guards, seize the fiend at once. It's too late, sir. The second prize, the Ring of Inquiry, it's gone. Second prize? What is the meaning of this? Many-faced fiend or no, the man spoke true. Master Goldsmith's eyes cannot be deceived. This sun sphere is clearly a second-rate replica. Oh dear. Preposterous. It's just, The dim lighting. Yes, if you'll just step over here. Have you taken ill, friend? You seem to be perspiring most heavily. Let's not be hasty, friends. I can explain. I sold out my honor, joined forces with that odious octopus, all for a false treasure? What a fool I've been. Whatever was I thinking? Do not berate yourself so, Miss Avila. Why, it was exactly as you said, was it not? You were thinking of dear Hegelina, and nothing more. I suppose I was at that. How do you know my sister's name? I assure you, young miss, under no circumstances did I tell you to the Nanawa mines to eavesdrop on your intimately personal dialogue with your beloved sister. Oh, you have the right of it. Blinded by the prospect of fortune and fame, I lost sight of myself and what I truly was fighting for. My honor and my sister's trust will not be easily regained, but I will not shirk from the challenge. One mystery still remains. Before the thief had identified the ring as fake, he had already acquired the key to the storeroom. Clearly, the second prize, this ring of inquiry, was his target from the start. But why? There must be some pattern to these items the fiend has stolen, a pattern that betrays his true intentions. The treaty blade, Uzima's virtue, the ring of inquiry, all relics with quite a history, or to be more precise, relics from the era of the Balladian. Oh, if that is so, the answer is clear as day. The fiend means to found Eorzea's greatest museum of Balladian history, pushing up the prices and gouging honest men out of their hard-earned coin. Doubtless another one of his cards will appear on the scene to tell us as much. Well, there it is. Oh dear. Not another truffle. no. I have enjoyed our little game, but all good things must come to an end. I shall claim the 4 sacred treasures, and justice shall be served. So this is the thief's final challenge to us. But what are these 4 treasures of which he speaks? Where the 4 treasures of Balladia become one, the wicked shall be judged in the blazing light of sun. An old legend, little more than a fairy tale at that. And yet it seems the Phantom believes there is some truth in these words. Four sacred relics from Balladia. The Warden's justice. Lofty words coming from a glorified footpad. One who's winning over the common folk day by the day. If rumors are to be believed, it would seem the tales of a master thief ruffling the feathers of the rich and famous have won them in more than a few admirers. Consider his targets thus far: an Uldan collector and her hired thugs, a trading Mughal and the brass blades, and now a mining magnate and the stone torches. Is it any surprise that the sympathies of ordinary Uldans would lie with the perpetrator rather than his victims? Astutely observed, Miss Ellie. Our quarry clearly harbors no small degree of resentment for wealth and authority. Might his next target be a member of the syndicate? Perhaps the Sultana herself? Aha! Then it will be to his downfall. For the greater the challenge, the higher I rise. Ahem. Just one moment, if you would. Mark my words, ye of many faces, there is but one man who shall lay claim to the 4 lost relics of Balladia, and it shall be Hildibrand, agent of inquiry, inspector extraordinaire. Yes, I'm sure that inspires us all with great confidence. We're doing. Was that? No, it couldn't be. Ha! Methinks Godbert may need a new pair of spectacles. The key to the next case is a mask. Have you ever worn a mask for so long that you forgot what you actually looked like? I have. And how did they freeze in midair like that? Talk about a mystery. Oh well, see you next time. Thus ends the old person. Shades of Sildy. Ellie would share with you a shocking new turn in the Phantom Thief case. I was wondering when you'd show up, Myrokos. I hope you haven't made any plans for the day, because we've got a situation on our hands. Remember our good friend, the Phantom Thief? Well, it seems he's decided to branch out from burglary into cold-blooded murder. Are we sure we're talking about the same person? If the rumors are to be believed, he's claimed 3 victims already, all influential members of Oldan society. Mr. Manyfaces has been kind enough to leave one of his signature calling cards at every scene, leaving no doubt as to the identity of the murderer. The message is always the same. The weight of 5 corpses will bring the scales of justice to balance. More riddles. Not that you'll hear me complaining. No, the only thing my readers like more than a good mystery is a good murder mystery. Ever since the story broke, the Mithril Eye's been selling like pounds cakes. The only rub is that it's left me no time to look into the thief's last message. Until now, that is. Shall we, Myrokos? The hidden treasure of Ulda, was it? If there's anyone who can shed some light on this, it's you-know-who. To Sunsilk Tapestry. Island. Yeah. Well now, if it ain't my favorite venturer and my favorite Mithril Eye reporter along with him. Tell me, what have I done to deserve the pleasure of your company today? I see. As much as I'd like to help 2 of my best mates, I'm afraid you've found old Wyman at a loss. Ulda has more than its fair share of treasures, hidden and otherwise. I reckon our phantom friend could be after just about any of them. I can tell you this much, though. Whatever the thief's got his eyes on, it's got the Sultan Sworn and a right dither. Word has it they formed a regiment of their best and brightest to safeguard the royal vaults from this very threat. The Sultan Sworn aren't like to be forthcoming with information, but it's the only lead we've got. Come, Myrokos, I'd say it's time we paid a visit to the heart of the swamp. Oi, hold up there, Ellie. I ain't generally the worrying type, but you may want to think twice before getting yourselves involved in this. A man in my business develops a nose for danger, and this time, the stench is something fierce. You're a reporter, Ellie, and a fine one at that. Don't put that pretty neck of yours at risk trying to play hero. Your concern is touching, but I can assure you that I am ready for whatever danger lies ahead. Besides, being a reporter is about more than selling papers. I have a duty to seek the truth and convey it to the people. Come, Myrokos, time is of the essence. Alright, so now we have to walk. Yeah. Alchemy skill. Oh dear, it's Humphrey. Where have I seen this man before? Yeah, he pretended to be me a little while back. Halt! Only unauthorized personnel are allowed in. I'll bugger me with a broadsword. The gentleman of light's adventuring and that catty but cute reporter from the Middle Eye. Well, if it isn't the self-styled warrior of light. Tell me, what tall tales did you spin to the Sultan Sworn recruiter to land yourself in this position? Only the 12's honest truth, miss. Seeing that gentleman of light standing tall and triumphant that day, it moved me to the depths of my soul, like. I vowed to put aside my sketchy past and serve the realm just like my hero, Master Hildibrand. The Sultan Sworn were impressed with my commitment and my sword arm, and they gladly welcomed me into their ranks. Oh, well, at least he's going. Oh. Wait, don't tell me. You've come to assist Master Hildibrand in his investigation, haven't you? Cor, why didn't you say so soon? It's the least I could do to help the mates who united me with my role model. You'll be wanting to speak with Phyllis. She's only one of the Sworn's best and something of a history buff, it seemed. When she heard the thief was targeting the 4 relics of Bellatia, she personally stepped forward and volunteered to lead the investigation. If anyone has the information you were looking for, it'd be her. Wait here while I get her. I can trust you not to touch anything, I? A pleasure to meet you, fellas. My name is Ellie, from the Mithril Eye. As you may have heard, we're researching the Phantom Thief case, and would appreciate any information that may shed light on recent events. Pleasure is mine, Miss Ellie. If I'm not mistaken, that would make your companion friend here one Myrokos T.I., yes? Mm-hmm. You know Myrokos? As a regular reader, as any regular reader of the Mithril Eye would, I must confess to being something of an unabashed fan of your work. Though it hardly befits my station to say this, I was secretly hoping that you would show up to assist in the investigation. Doubtless the inspector, too, will also welcome a helping hand. Which one? Oh, Broden. Yeah, we can help him. No worries. The Sultan Sworn, the elite of Uldar's elite. I can only hope they prove more competent than the bungling mercenaries I've dealt with thus far. Inspector Broden, always one step ahead of us. Miss Sully, Myrokos, a moment if you would. Right there? Very good. face me and don't move an inch. Inspector, what is that in your... Demasking test. A formula of my own devising that will allow us to see right through the thief's disguises. Analyzing the mask left behind at Vesper Bay, I was able to identify its composition and synthesize a counteragent that would dissolve the disguise whilst leaving the wearer's face intact. In any event, it would appear the two of you are indeed who you appear to be. Brilliant, Inspector. The phantom thieves pulled the wool over our eyes for the last time. I fear it won't be so simple. The ingredients necessary to produce the dust are exceedingly rare. Even with the entire resources of the Sultan Sworn at our disposal, we were only able to produce a limited supply. I see. Well, I suppose it's better than nothing. That said, have you been able to identify the thief's next target? The hidden treasure of Ul'dah, the last of the 4 lost relics of Belladia? I fear not. I've pored through the histories time and again, but the only mention of these 4 relics is a vague reference in an old prophecy. Most serious scholars consider it a little more than a fairy tale. When darkness falls and hope fades to despair, 4 warriors born of light shall descend in the righteous glare. The legend goes on to describe 4 sacred artifacts, one each possessed by these 4 Belladian heroes, but makes no mention as to their appearance or nature. 3 times we have tried to identify the thief's target, and 3 times has he foiled us by making off with something else entirely. Needless speculation will only play into the fiend's strengths. All artifacts of Belladian origin have been sealed within the royal vault, and a regiment of our finest assigned to its protection. I have furnished all the guards with a supply of demasking dust and instructed them to be on the lookout for any suspicious persons. Blackguard will be in chains before he can lay a dirty hand on the vault doors, let alone the treasures within. You have our word. Okay? But there are even more disturbing matters at hand. Doubtless you have heard of the recent rash of murders perpetrated by our quarry. The Sultan Sworn have launched an investigation, but the truth of the matter is that we have been far too occupied with the defense of the vaults to make any meaningful progress. We would be most grateful for any assistance you could offer. A lady asks, and a gentleman answers. Cast all worry from your heart, lady. Hildibrand, Agent of Inquiry, Inspector Extraordinaire, has arrived to set right what is wrong and bring the wicked to justice. And this must be the demasking dust that is the talk of the palace. Ah, but you need not waste your supply on me, Inspector. I assure you that I am exactly who I claim to be. shame that. Inspector Hildibrand. We were not expecting you, but your services are most welcome. I will share all I know about the recent murders. The killer has claimed 3 victims thus far. The head of a publishing consortium, a high-ranking government official, and an influential scholar. Other than that, they were all influential figures in their respective circles. We can identify no common threads connecting the 3. Oh, this will prove a most satisfying case to crack indeed. And what of the method of killing? Conked over the head with a cudgel, gutted with a greatsword, strangled with a sublugar, mayhap? I'm afraid that we've identified no pattern. In any event, the murderer plots the deaths of 2 more even as we speak. We must take action, and quickly. Understood, my lady. Clues may be scarce, but worry not. My realm-renowned powers of deduction are more than up to the task. I will see this burglar turned butcher delivered to justice. Your presence is heartening indeed, Inspector Hildibrand. Friends, please take this demasking dust with you. I fear we can spare but a single sachet, but I trust you will put it to good use. On behalf of the Sultan Sworn, your assistance with the murder investigation is greatly appreciated. Leave the defense of the Royal Vault to us. The Gentleman of Light in the flesh. Hells, he's every bit as muscular and majestic as I remembered. Oh boy. He may have 1,000 faces, but with Inspector Briardine's demasking dust, the masquerade will soon be over. Come to accompany me on yet another case, friend? I like your gusto, but if you're auditioning to be my assistant, I fear that role has already been filled, most ably. Still, a gentleman welcomes the support of all his admirers. I shall henceforth name you thusly, Myrokos, my ever-loyal associate. Not sure I want that title, but okay. And now, my ever-loyal associate, the investigation calls. I propose that we begin by inspecting the site at which the most recent victim met his demise. My questioning about the palace has revealed that the scholar's body was found not far from the 80 sins of Sesame. Even the most circumspect of criminals cannot help but leave behind clues that will not elude my gaze. Friends, let us be off. Pray alert me should you see anyone suspicious, my ever-loyal associate. We must put Miss Phyllis's demasking dust to good use. Yeah, and we'd have one more session, if, it wasn't used on Hildibrand, but here else. Interesting. Flower. How intriguing. Flowers. Yes, it is all becoming clear now. Our phantom killer is a florist who, in his hurry to escape, carelessly mislaid his wares. Just what do you think you're doing, eh? Eh? I'm the one who put those flowers there, eh? To honor the memory of me poor boy. You dare defile his memory, eh? Eh? 1,000 pardons, lady. Please accept my most sincere condolences on your loss. I am Hildibrand, Agent of Inquiry, Inspector Extraordinaire. I swear to you on my own dear mother's name that your son's killer will be brought to justice. Ahem. As I was just saying, these flowers were clearly placed here by the family of the deceased. It can only mean... Leave this place. Run away while you still can. Run far, far away. Run or he'll turn you into a zombie. Just like my poor, poor boy. Too late, he's already a zombie overlord. A living person turned into a zombie? Nonsense. Not nonsense, my boy. History. Or have you not heard of the horrors of Sildi? I, Ulda's sibling nation, against which we waged war centuries ago. Much blood was shed by both sides, aye, but I speak of far greater horrors than death. An unholy draught, brewed by a Sildine alchemist, one with the power to turn the living to the undead, that his nation might command an army of mindless, deathless soldiers, the traitor's sperm. They turned my poor boy into a heap of rotten flesh and ran him through. But ye won't hear that from the Sultan sworn. Thal alone knows why, but they whisked the body away before I could so much as pay me last respect. Traitor's sperm? I'd heard stories, but I never thought them true. To be able to procure such a frightening thing, just who are we dealing with? A Sildine, I am sure of it. Aye, only a Sildine would know the recipe. But the last remnants of Sildi died 4 centuries ago, you say? Oh, they did. He calls himself the Phantom Thief. He does? But did it ever occur to you that he might be an honest-to-God's phantom? Heard the tales from my own great-grandma, I did. About the 4 relics of Bellatia and the powers they hold, the power to exact justice. A specter of Sildi has returned to wreak vengeance on us. Woe, woe unto us all. Have the 4 warriors of light forsaken us? My dear boy, if only you'd become a traitor like your father. If only you'd kept your nose out of those history books and never so much as breathed the accursed name of Sildi. But you did, and now we're doomed. Doomed. Why does this person sound like that bleeding horse is here somewhere. I can feel it in me falling. The most potent hair tonic the realm has seen. I bet it was, for all of a fortnight, before my flowing locks fell out all over again. And just as I was chatting up lively young lass at the quicksand, just to twist the knife and extra ill. Mountebank, charlatan, I'll find that so-called inspector and his sorry band, and pull every last strand of hair from the bleeding skull. What is up with that moment? Shades from Sildi. Living men turned to zombies. The old crone's lost not just her son, but her wits as well. Given the fact that we have zombie, undead people in the deep desert, and Hildibrand's a zombie overlord, I'd be too sure. Sibling strife. Hildibrand is onto something, and or at least he thinks he is. It's all becoming clear to me now. That dear old woman's testimony has confirmed that which I had suspected from the start. Like a zombie picking away at its rotting flesh, Hildibrand, agent of inquiry, inspector extraordinaire, has peeled away the foul scab of uncertainty to reveal the truth within. That was a mental picture I did not need, but okay. Open your ears and feast your minds on the fruits of my flawless deduction. Our phantom thief is a phantom indeed, a wayward spirit caught between the realm of the living and dead for nigh on centuries since meeting a tragic end on the battlefield. As such, our course of action is clear. We must placate this tortured soul, that it might abandon its vengeful vendetta and travel to the next life in peace. But what is the true nature of the Spectre's grievances? Without this knowledge, we cannot hope to assuage its rancor. Let us begin our search at the Thaumaturge's Guild. Doubtless the tomes there contain a wealth of knowledge on the ill blood between the sibling nations, notwithstanding the abject stupidity of everything else that came out of your mouth. Some knowledge of Sildi might serve us well. Go, research as you will, and do take as much time as you need. You can count on me, Inspector Briardine. Whatever knowledge is to be gleaned at the guild, it shall not escape my inspector's eye. I'd be much obliged if you could keep him out of the way, Myrokos. I have some real investigating to do and would prefer to be free of distractions. Really? Do I really need to babysit him? Well, if I'm going to be at the Thaumaturge's Guild, I can at least be in my Black Mage gear. This is what I'm reduced to. Babysitting an imbecile. This is what the Warrior of Light is reduced to. Just... yeah. Researching the ancient feud between Ul'dah and Sildi, are you? Most impressive. Young people these days show little interest in learning from the past. Anyhow, I'm pleased to say I have more than a passing familiarity with history. To understand the history of the sibling nations, one must go back further still to the birth of their mother nation, Belladia. The Fifth Astral Era was an age of untold wonders, when the arcane arts burgeoned on the great civilizations that commanded such powers flourished. The Age of Enlightenment would not last, however. Power bred avarice, and avarice bred resentment. It culminated in the War of the Magi, which brought the great floods of the Sixth Umbral Calamity, which in turn swallowed once proud nations and left a battered wasteland in its wake. Mages were reviled and persecuted for having caused this catastrophe, with many forced to leave their homelands or face death. It was a small band of those survivors that found their way to Thanai, where they would found the nation of Belladia some 8 centuries agone. Ah, imagine a government of mages, by mages, for mages. What wonders might have been wrought had Belladian civilization survived to this very day. Alas, this was not to be. Huh. Well, that's pretty informative. So black magic founded this city, at least in part. That's interesting. Greetings, traveler. You would learn of the war between Ul'dah and the fallen Sultanate of Sildi. It would be my pleasure to enlighten you. The two city-states coexisted for several generations until the bad blood between them boiled over, culminating in outright war. As you might deduce from the present state of affairs, Ul'dah emerged victorious, leaving its once proud sibling nation nation in smoldering ruins. As the histories tell it, the battles fought between the sister nations were the stuff of nightmares. In a desperate attempt to overcome Ul'dah's superior numbers, Sildian alchemists devised a most horrific stratagem, employing a frightful formula known as the traitor's spurn. They brought their fallen warriors back as undead soldiers. Some theories have it that they even employed the potion on those of the living who were too weak or wounded to fight. Sends shivers up the spine just thinking about it. No, it is truly a crowning glory of our fair nation that our forebears were able to emerge victorious against these horrors. That's a charming thought. You don't say. It's not every day someone comes to our halls to research Sildi. As a fellow student of history, though, I more than welcome the conversation. Belladian's civilization flourished in relative peace until twin sons were born to the royal family. The two were fierce rivals, and when they came of age and their father passed, each one claimed that he was the rightful heir to the throne. With neither son willing to relinquish his claim, they agreed to split their kingdom in two, forming the twin nations of Ul'dah and Sildi. But not unlike the two proud princes, the sibling nations developed a penchant for rivalry. Yeah. Knowledge is power, and surely our thaumaturge friends have a wealth of knowledge on the feud between Ul'dah and Sildi. Let's begin our inquiry. You realize I've been chatting with people and you're just standing there. Kakabuki. Hello. What's that, you say? You seek knowledge of the bad blood between Ul'dah and Sildi? I suppose I can spare a moment or two, but take good notes. I'm not fond of repeating myself. 2 scales, one of gold and one of silver. the gold of Ul'dah weighing prosperity and power, the silver of Seldi weighing knowledge and power. But power sought by the two nations differed greatly, yes, greatly indeed. The power wrought by Ul'dah prosperity was that of justice and good, while the power wrought by Seldi knowledge was horrific beyond belief. The power to rip the living soul out of a man and render him a mindless killing machine. On this matter, the histories are clear. But riddle me this, friend. Who writes the histories, and what does this say of the words writ within? Yes, truth can be elusive and fickle as the shifting sand. As one example, did you know that in the war against Seldi, Ul'dah and Amalja warriors fought side by side? Likely you did not, and neither did I until I encountered a fading passage in an ancient text buried deep in our archives. And yet, in the histories read by the populace, you will see no mention of this most fascinating fact. Might it be that someone at some time deemed this particular truth less than convenient? But I have said enough already. So the bad blood between Ul'dah and Malja was that's curious. My ever-loyal associate, tell me, what have you learned from your questioning of the scholars in these halls? Indeed. As it happens, I have learned much the same. Let us take a moment to review and allow my peerless powers of deduction to work their magic. A war's succession divides the great civilization of Balatia, giving rise to the sibling nations of Ul'dah and Seldi. The two nations coexist for some generations until ill blood boils over, culminating in outright war. Daunted by Ul'dah's superior military might, Seldi employs their advanced alchemical knowledge to horrific ends, transforming their own citizens, alive and dead, into a fearsome undead legion. Yes, I believe I have it. The facts at hand have led me to one unassailable conclusion. Our phantom thief is a descendant of doomed Seldi, who seeks vengeance against those who reduced his countrymen to slavering zombies. To pacify his soul and send him peacefully to the next world, there is but one course of action. We must find the Seldian statesman who conceived this dreadful stratagem and have him apologize to the thief in person for the suffering he has wrought. A brilliant plan. Perhaps you'd like to go find yourself a shovel and dig this statesman out of his grave yourself. Leaving aside this nonsense of spirits inspectors, it appears increasingly likely that our quarry shares some links to Seldi. His garish garb is no doubt meant to evoke the silver scales of the fallen sultan. The Seldian connection would also serve to explain the rare knowledge of Baladian relics our thief clearly possesses. But what of the murder victims? What common thread amongst them could have incurred the ire of our adversary? A few people in town spoke of a man sighted calling upon the victims in the past days. Those who saw him said he had a most frightened air about him. Wait, yes, it's coming to me, of course. My keen investigator's senses rang out with a voice loud and clear. This man Miss Ellie speaks of just might know something. You really should stop thinking so hard. You're like to strain a brain muscle. Miss Ellie, who is this man and where might we find him? My sources identified the man as Guguria, a traveling merchant known to frequent Horizon. Shall we pay him a visit? I think we shall. Okay. Now we get to go to Horizon. Wrong way. Get to double back. My keen instincts tell me that Mr. Gururia's testimony will be key to a monumental breakthrough in our investigation. Yes, I shall employ the ancient mandible art parlay over this again, to skillfully extract the information we require. Yes, if you've got business, make it quick. My time's too valuable to be waste chatting with every stranger who passes by. Forgive us, good sir. My name is Ellie, a reporter with the Mithril Eye. Never blinking, always seeing, you know the rest. I was wondering if we could trouble you with just a few questions. Was it for love or money that you killed them? Yes, you, the thief of many faces. Me? A thief? What is this nonsense? I don't know who you are, but I ain't got the time or the patience for this mummery. Now, if you'll excuse me, an important client waits. I thought I recognized that voice. Lady Dorelda, we well met indeed. Pray tell, whatever brings you to these environs this very evening. Why? I live here, you ham-headed half-wit. Inspector Briardine, this is an unexpected pleasure. Do you have some business with my associate here, pray tell? Guguria, we can discuss business after. Pray lend the inspector here, the handsome one, whatever assistance he requires. But Lady Dorelda, what about... yes, my dear Maria's name day present. I had in mind one of the prize pieces from Miss Stymie's latest seasonal collection. You would be able to procure one for me, yes? Or shall I eliminate the middleman and make the trip to Ul'dah myself? I'll say it just once more, Guguria. I expect you to give the inspector and his companions your full assistance. They, yes, even the stupid one, helped me regain something truly priceless. Yes, something more valuable than any mere trinket. Oh, alright. I'll tell you what I know. But you didn't hear it from me, got it? I was looking into the killing on behalf of a client of mine. The thief's got himself some of that zombie dust, the trader's sperm, was it? And his cards speak of 5 victims. They got me thinking. Sildy? 5 victims? I, the arbiters of truth. The arbiters of truth? I'm not familiar with the name. Aye, few would be, on account of them being something of a secret society and all. Influential personages of the Sultanate, you see, working from the shadows to keep false knowledge about the Ulda-Sildi conflict from reaching the ears of folk like you and me. False knowledge? Pray tell, just what sort of knowledge might that be? Balls, don't make me say no more. I've got a family to feed. Very well, let us, and just tell us one last thing. Who hired you, and where can we find him? Hob. His name's Hob. When he heard what I said, he told me that he was going to set sail for Lemsa, with his 5 best sellswords to guard his back. Said there were many prying eyes at the airship docks. Said he had a private ship docked and waiting for him at Vesper Bay, but remember, you didn't hear none of this from me. This man Hob must be one of the killer's targets. Doubtless he also knows the identity of the remaining. I doubt that. They say the arbiters are so secretive they don't even know each other's true identities. Now don't ask me how that all works, but Hobbs got high-ranking friends in the Brass Blades. Once he heard the victims had all been zombified, he panicked. I guess he knew that he'd be next. Thank you very much, my kind sir. Once again, the ancient mandrill art of parley has procured for us a key morsel of knowledge. Let us seek out this Hob fellow and see what he can share with us, and let us hurry. The man's life is in danger even as we speak. I would hear what this Hob fellow has to say. Come, my ever-loyal associate, let us away to Vesper Bay with all speed. Master Hob, is everything quite all right? No, stand back, Ellie. Damn, there's no saving them. Myrokos, do what you must. Yes, my first-hand knowledge of zombies tells me this particular shade of green is most unmistakably that of the undead. It would seem we were a few moments late to the scene. A message. And then there was one. Okay, seriously, who is that person? There it is again. Something the matter, Inspector? Indeed, Nashu, there is. Ever since I picked up the trail of the Phantom Thief, I've had this fleeting sense. The sense that someone, or something, is watching us. The thief might be close at hand. We should be careful. For the moment, let us return and report our findings to Miss Phyllis. Secret society or no, knowing the identities of its members may lead us to the final victim. I too had best return to the Mithril Eye. Let's meet up again after. I'll see what new clues I can uncover in the meantime. You will do nothing of the sort, Miss Ellie. These streets are far too dangerous for you to walk alone. Inspector, I'll go with her. If you insist, Nashu, then I give my leave. But pray be wary, not just of the thief, but of Miss Ellie. She has quite the temper, as we both know. Miss Ellie, there is something I must tell you when this case is over. Be safe and promise me that you will not attempt anything rash, as you did that time when the fiend took aim at my own life. Your life? At Costa del Sol. Yes, that was quite the ordeal, wasn't it? I'll be careful, I promise. I eagerly await the day when I may hear what it is you would share with me. Secret vow? Oh, consider my first peak as well, good Inspector. Now let us be off. Miss Phyllis awaits our report. The news of Hobbs' death will not sit well with Miss Phyllis, but a gentleman must do what a gentleman must do. Some shifty-looking fellow was eyeing the vaults before, but he took off faster than a fleeing cactus as soon as my gaze met his. Just like I cowed a man, many a garland on the plains. Oh, wait, it's you. Fourth victim. Thal have mercy. Were you able to glean aught of a connection to the other victims? The arbiters of truth? No, it cannot be. Somebody help! Miss Ellie, the voice came from the direction of the vault. We must hurry. Miss Ellie, are you hurt? That man. I only thought to ask him a few questions. Before I knew what was happening, he was upon me. I could only bash his brains with a conveniently placed bottle of mead, it would seem. Aha! Remind me not to get on your bad side, Miss Ellie. That said, is Nashu not with you? She saw a figure lurking in the shadows and went off in pursuit before I could stop her. This man wears the armor of a sultan's sworn squire, yet his face is unfamiliar to me. Something is amiss. The thief of many faces. To think we would find our man like this. Thrice and again did the fiend elude our grasp, but no more. By virtue of a gentleman's ingenious deductions and a lady's pugilistic puissance, I declare this case closed. I return the sachet to you, Miss Phyllis. Whilst the gesture was appreciated, in the end it proved superfluous to my cracking of the case. While you're at it, is there anything else of immense value that you'd like to wantonly destroy? What? What is the meaning of this? Ingenious. A double disguise, planted by the thief to throw us off his trail, no doubt. This is, Grigu, and goodness, I probably butchered that name. One of my most capable men. I assigned him to guard the vault, and outfitted him with an ample supply of demasking dust. It is inconceivable that the thief could so easily elude his grasp. Unless the thief was not wearing a mask. Speaking of which, has anyone seen Miss Ellie? Yeah, where is she? No, that's impossible. Of course, it all makes perfect sense, with the Phantom Thief to thank for her burgeoning readership and rise through the ranks at the Mithril Eye, Miss Ellie could not bear to face the responsibility of her story of a lifetime coming to an end. Thus, she hatched a plan to escape. My lady, the vault has been breached. The wise man's whisper. It's gone. For her foul crimes against the Sultanate, I hereby declare Ellie of the Mithril Eye the thief of many faces, an enemy of the state. Deploy all troops and do not rest until she is in custody. And now the game is truly afoot. Oh dear. What is the meaning of all this racket and rumpus? And just as we were about to make our triumphant return. Isn't that so, Enkidu? Miss Ellie, that shadow you said you saw, I think it was just a dormouse. To think he'd literally stumble face first onto the second mask. His good fortune truly knows no ends. But not to worry. Yes, I dare say the Phantom Thief has another trick or two up his sleeve. How could we have been so blind? When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. Beneath the mask, not even the shockingest turn of events will deter the family it requires. My ever-loyal associate, we must find Miss Ellie and quickly. Surely, if confronted by her constant companions, she can still be convinced to abandon this fool plan. Oh, Miss Phyllis, I thought you had already departed in the company of your men, but all for the better. Shall we conduct the search together? I fear that will only put them at greater risk. You see, the fifth and final member of the Arbiters of Truth, the Phantom Thief's final target, is none other than Hildibrand Mander? No, not you. Me. Mind you, it's not a role I sought of my own accord. My name and my passion for history are somewhat well known in the Sultanate. One day I received an anonymous letter stating that a position in the committee had opened and I had been chosen to fill it. The letter went on to enumerate my duties to prevent the spread of historical lies that would sully the name of our illustrious nation. As a high-ranking officer of the Sultan's Forum, I was deemed to be in a particularly unique position to serve as an arbiter. I knew that there were other members of the organization, but was told nothing of their names or identities. To think that my unknown compatriots were the victims all along. I cannot put any more lives in danger. I will sequester myself in a place where my presence can cause no harm, until such time as the killer is apprehended. Your concern for your own well-being is touching, Miss Phyllis, but there is no need for such caution. As a seasoned inspector, I am more than capable of protecting a lady in distress. And as a gentleman, that is exactly what I shall do. My associates here also stand at your side. Speaking of which, has anyone seen my loyal assistant? Inspector, over here! Ah, there you are, Nash. You really shouldn't run off on your own like that. I was worried sick about you. I'm sorry, Inspector. Miss Ellie said she saw somebody in the shadows, so I went to take a look. Now, there wasn't anything there but a dormouse. But it was a really cute dormouse, you see? It just kept squeaking and scurrying away, and I just... Pardon me for a moment, Ashley. My inspector's sense speaks to me. Someone is watching us, Myrokos. Let us split up and canvass our surroundings. I cannot allow my presence to put my men in danger. Apologies, Myrokos, but I require a moment alone with you. Where is Miss Ellie? Do you think she went looking for the dormouse too? No, she's not that stupid. A water-stained letter lies conspicuously on the floor. Be wary and be warned. Water-stained letter lies conspicuously on the floor. Trust no one, and your friends all the less. The water-stained letter lies conspicuously on the floor. This will avail you well. Use it wisely. You obtain a sachet of demasking dust in the next instant. You feel an intimidating presence beneath you. Oh, if it isn't my beloved son's staunch companion, the mighty Myrokos. I was in the area on a matter of business, which I curtailed when I felt a suspicious presence from the shadows. Pursuing it led me here. Mayhap it was the same for you? Oh, so you pursued... Your pursuit of the thief of many faces has taken quite the unexpected turn, and now you have come upon a series of anonymous letters. Mayhap our watcher in the shadows is a friend, or is this but another trap laid by the fiend? Yes, the plot thickens like a dollop of salamander. In either event, I dare say, the circumstances call for utmost caution. The thief could be anywhere, or anyone, myself excluded, of course. No mere mask could replicate the physique of this Mandeville man. That said, I fear my dear Hildy may be in a bit over his head this time. Allow me to assist you in your investigation. Were anything to happen to Hildibrand, his dear mother would, not be pleased. Let's go. Where's Miss Ellie? Do you think she went looking for the drawings too? Something just isn't right. It's the Lalafell again. Seriously, what is that Lalafell's deal? If the sender speaks true, the villain even now lurks in our midst. And yet we have but a single sachet of demasking dust at our disposal. We must identify the impostor beyond a reasonable doubt before we proceed. You know the players better than I, Myrokos. Let's say you have a few words with each of them and see if aught seems amiss. Am I doomed to share the same fate as the others? I'd sooner die than become one of those things. Miss Sally is the phantom thief. It is the only logical conclusion, and yet I cannot help but feel that another truth still evades us. Inspector Briardine told me all about it. Who'd have thunk Miss Ellie was the phantom thief all this time? She sure fooled me. Does that sound like Nashu? I would have expected something quippy and possibly nonsensical. Nothing particularly odd about any of them, you say? It stands to reason. The fiend would not take such a risk if he were not utterly confident that he could pull off the ruse. Curses. This one's not half the fool his son is. I must elude him, and quickly. Time is of the essence. I questioned the Sultan sworn outside. To a man, they insist that they have seen naught of Miss Ellie. Wherever could she have gone? But, Father, what brings you here? Yes, finally, the pieces are coming together. Now, if you would kindly stand still and shut up, the fiend already stands among us. Inspector Briardine, I should hope you are not doubting me. While I'm quite convinced that even a master impersonator would struggle to recreate your particular brand of idiocy, the fact remains that anyone here who has spent even a moment alone must be considered a suspect. The thief has proven to be highly efficient at assuming new identities. An astute observation, my gangly friend. I'd say this occasion calls for a dose or two of that powder Myrokos here found earlier. There wouldn't happen to be another sachet or two lying around, would there? What remains of our supply has already been distributed to the search party, but worry not, they should be reporting back within a bell's time. The time might be against me, but just you watch. I'll wiggle my way out of this and turn you into the reeking, drooling corpse you deserve to be. I fear that is more time than we can afford, Miss Phyllis. Fortunately, my powers of deduction will lay the fiend's face bare within minutes. We know that, given the choice, the thief prefers to impersonate familiar personages. As Miss Ellie has had only passing interactions with my dear father, we can safely eliminate him from consideration. That leaves myself, Nashu, and Myrokos here. Nashu and I, in particular, have had a close and extended friendship with our suspect. I shall begin by questioning my own assistant. I assure you that none know her better than I. Brilliant reasoning as ever, Inspector. Go on. Ask me anything. But of all the times this overstuffed buffoon to start talking sense, if he asks me anything too obscure, my cover is as good as blown. My relationship with Nashu is so close, I dare say at times it is as if we share a mind. If this Nashu is truly my ever-loyal assistant, she should have no trouble completing with my thoughts. Ahem. Amanda. This... Man... Doing what only a Manderville... Oh, good lord. From the peaks of Kurthus to Thunderland. Manderville. Man, you're the best, Inspector. A perfect score. You may rest easy, dear friends. This is unmistakably, unequivocally, indubitably the true Nashu. I've never loved you more than now, you marvelous muttonhead, you. Nashu, is something the matter? Just because you picked up a few more wrinkles beneath the eyes, there's no need to avert that charming face of yours. Wrinkles? Wrinkles! Look who's talking, you crusty, cretinous old... genius inspector? Oh my. The charade is up, Miss Ellie. Miss Ellie, you look somehow different. So the letters spoke true. The fiend was in our midst all along. My prodigious powers of deduction scream out to me. This woman knows something. Another two-layered mask, mayhap? But no. This woman bears a striking resemblance to Miss Ellie. I was all but certain that Ellie was our thief. What is the meaning of this? Truths untold. Who is the unfamiliar woman and what secrets does she hold? 7 hells, done in by a muscle-bound muttonhead and his motley troop of mummers. Just who are you? Your resemblance to Miss Ellie is most uncanny, and yet... Consulting Inspector Briardy. Once again, you failed to measure up to your lofty reputation. Of course, we resemble each other. Ellie is, after all, my own flesh and blood, my beloved sister and eminently capable partner in crime. 1,000 faces I may wear, but only one name do I bear. You can call me Cecil. Charmed, I'm sure. Are you quite alright? Why you look like you've seen a ghost. Despite my moniker, I assure you that Ellie and I are no specters. What are we? What we are, mind you, are the last living scions of Sildine aristocracy. Bemused, are you? Befuddled to find two sisters beneath the mask? Try using your brains once in a while. Every time you encountered a thief, Ellie was standing right in your midst. No, the thief that for a time stole the show, oh, and those priceless relics, was me. Meanwhile, Ellie hid in plain sight, supplying me with just the knowledge I needed to stay one step ahead of my pursuers, all the while spinning the hair-raising tales of my exploits that won the hearts of this nation. We owe a lot to you, truly. Why, without the tales of your hapless attempts to catch me, we never could have risen to the heights of celebrity. Miss Ceci, from a gentleman to a lady, I would ask you one thing and one thing only. Just what is it that you and Miss Ellie hope to accomplish with all your schemes? Justice. 400 years ago, Uldan dogs reduced our great nation to a nation of zombies. At long last, the cowards that would still justify these foul deeds will suffer the same fate. Wait, the histories say that it was Sildie that turned their own men into zombies. The histories lie, and you work from the shadows, silencing those who would speak the truth. You should have died with your fellows, false arbiter. It was old Da that ordered the creation of that dreadful powder, and wielded it as a weapon against our proud ancestors. The history of your glorious sultanate is built on a lie. What is this madness you speak of? Not madness, truth. The powder in my possession was stolen from the Uldan army 4 centuries ago by one of my ancestors. They say it was his final act of courage in the moments before his leg fell off and his rotten head dropped from his shoulders. This is the truth that the histories don't tell. The truth that this doe-eyed Sultan Swan would kill to keep it buried deep in the sands of Thanalan. But your time of reckoning is nigh. Oh yes, before long, you and everyone in this rotten nation will know firsthand the horrors my ancestors knew. And just what do you mean by that? Oh, how the idiots lap up the stories. the masked crusader for justice, a dashing rebel waging battle against power and authority. Oh, if only they knew. But they will soon enough when they're eating each other's brains out on the streets. In the last days before our proud nation was razed to the ground, a band of the final survivors stole a vast quantity of the powder from the Uldan vaults, hiding it away in a secret vault sealed with powerful magics. The sole means by which the vault may be opened by assembling assembling four secret relics from Baladia, 4 relics once housed in the royal palace of Sildi before the Uldan dogs stole them and claimed them for their own. And so it dawns upon you at last. Yes, even as we speak, Ellie makes for the vault, the 4 relics safely in hand. Just think, one day you'll be able to tell your grandchildren you were there when zombie powder rained down on Uldan. No, wait, you'll all be dead. Preposterous. But first you, my dear, you will not even have the pleasure of looking upon the last moments of your precious homeland. Let your flesh rot and rot like all of your rotten lives. I think not, Miss Ceci. Hildibrand. You idiot! Just for once, could you not get in the way? Godbert Manderville. I can't even trust your sorry arse to look after him for a day. I knew it. That presence watching over us from the shadows. It was you, my dear wife. Am I to understand that you are Hildibrand's mother? Well, she's hot. Godbert Manderville has good taste. Not as hot as, not as hot as, Minfelia, but, you know, good taste nonetheless. Although I don't think I'd want to fall in love with someone who comes after people with frying pans. Aye, this is more like it. Hand to hand, skillet to skillet. It's enough to send a warrior's pulse racing. Prepare yourself, Myrokos. The time of our final confrontation is now. Do you have popotos for brains, you overstuffed buffoon? My beloved boy's been turned into a stinking corpse, if you hadn't bloody noticed. You, Myrokos or something, was it? Yep, it's me. Hildy's told me all about your hijinks together. Pleased to meet you. My dear boy's always been a bit of always had a bit of a rebellious streak. What can I say? I can come on a bit too strong at times. But can you blame me? This time I thought I'd sit back and leave things to my sorry arse husband here, and look what that got me. You'll help me out too, won't you? Okay. How long? What's the matter? No, where? My cat keeps. Well, Inspector Hildibrand's mother? I dare say it's quite clear who wears the pants in the family, so to speak. Yeah, this, Julian? I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I don't want to get my head moved in. Reunited with my dear boy for the first time in ages, and just look at him. He's green. Actually, I'd call that gray, but whatever. Fortunately, there is still time to reverse the zombie curse, and I know just the remedy: a phial of holy water. The ingredients are simple: a tatter of oversold rags and a phial of twice distilled water. Singot at the markets stocks the former, and the latter you can procure from a trader by the name of Guest. Now hurry! Once the poison spreads throughout his veins, that no antidote will save him. In the meantime, I will search for the bumbler's bumbling assistant. With any luck, Miss Nashu is still alive. Ouch, that smarts. Ye gods, Hildy, you're looking none too hearty yourself. No thanks to you, you bumbling oaf. Now are you going to accompany Myrokos here and make yourself useful, or do I have to reintroduce you to that wall? But of course, my lady, Gilgamesh is ever at your service. Singot Sundries, was it? Come now, Myrokos, there's work to be done. Yep. Piece of Oso rags with Singot Sundries and a bottle of twice distilled water from the trader Guest. Hey, gods damn it, my boy's life is at stake. Yep. Oversoul rags, you say? I fear that I've only a single tatter left in stock, and it's already been spoken for. But my good man, you must reconsider. My dear friend's life, and quite possibly mine own as well, hangs in the balance. I sympathize with your plight, friend, But a man has to make a living, and I've been promised a copious supply of rare chimera membrane for these rags. Unless you can offer me the same, no deal. Gah, and you expect us to be able to summon such a rarity out of nowhere at a moment's notice? Oh, look what we have here, if it isn't the Warrior of Light from the Colosseum. Funny who you meet at the markets. Huh, Avila. As it happens, I just returned from my training in the slaying of 10 chimeras. Just happened to be my task for the day. If it's chimera membrane you seek, you're more than welcome to a share. My lady, you are far too kind. Don't mention it. If it hadn't been for Inspector Hildibrand and Myrokos here, I'd still be tag teaming with that slimy beast and cheating my way to fame and fortune. And I'm a woman who pays her debts. Oh, take me if that wasn't Avila the Tempest. Ever since she confessed to her trickery and started climbing back up from the bottom of the ranks, I've been proud to call myself one of her biggest fans. Why, I've half a mind to give you the rags you seek simply for the privilege of meeting her. A kind sentiment, my good man, but we are more than happy to uphold our side of the bargain, aren't we, Myrokos? And with this, our task here is done. Now let us find this traitor named Guest. Guest. Blundering Manderville boy is on his last legs, and you need something of mine to save him, you say? Perhaps you can give me a good reason why I should care. Those bloody Mandervilles are richer than the traders themselves. Yet they have the audacity to haggle me down to the last gill for every purchase. If the family line ended today, I'd be a happier and wealthy man. And now I believe the ballroom calls. Good day to you, and do pass along my condolences to the grieving parents. Have you not a shred of honor or compassion in that spindly body? Business rival or no, the man is on his death's doorstep. After the events of that day, my father will not so easily forgive and forget. But it matters not to me. No, my love for you is as deep as the seven seas. I beg of you, my lady, may I have this dance? Oh, God. Oh, it's them. Oh, hello there. Myrokos. What a lovely surprise. Are you here for the ball, perchance? Heavens, the poor inspector. Well, if it isn't the Lapis Maiden in the flesh. What say you bid farewell to preening fops and scruffy adventurers and share a dance with a cultured gentleman befitting of your great beauty? Why, it would be my pleasure and an honor both, my lord. Provided you first provide my good friend Myrokos with the bottle of twice distilled water that he seeks. You know this man? Ugh. If that's the price you would set, then so be it. Take it and take it. It's barely worth its weight in gil anyway. Now, shall we, Miss Arabella? I knew Hildy to be a worthy rival, but to think he was this beloved by so many. Clearly, this realm would be deeply mourning his loss. Quickly, Myrokos, let us deliver these goods while there is still time to save them. Or we could just let him die. That is technically another option. That I give you. I trust the two of you wouldn't dare to come back empty-handed. Nope. Oversoul rags, tattered cloth taken from the raiment of a powerful wraith. Twice distilled water. A second pass through the alembic has removed nearly all of the impurities once contained in this water. Bloody brilliant. I'd take you over my muscle-headed half-wit of a husband any day. Now stand back and let me show you some real Manderville home cooking. Fall, ye bloody bugger, guide my skillet. Aye, that should stop its spread. Now it's up to Hildy to flush what's left out of his system. Don't worry, he's my son after all. I reckon he's still got some fight left in him. Look who I found. She was slumbering obliviously in a rubbish-strewn corner of Pearl Lane. Boy, did that nap feel good. Yes, I'm sure it did. Myrokos, word has it that Ellie has been sighted at the Sildine ruins. We must go there with all haste. You've done well by my boy today. Don't worry, I'll handle things from here. There's a nice warm bed for him, and I think I know a few specialists who might know a thing or two about his condition. What in the seven hells are you standing around for? The future of Ul'dah is at stake. Myrokos, my strength is yours as well. For Ul'dah. And for our friend Hildy. You remind me of my husband. What with you having more muscles than sense? If you're so keen on making yourself useful, why don't you run down to the markets and bring me some fire? Keeping my dirt milk boy warm is key to fighting off the zombification. Let's see, I believe 20 crates or so should suffice. I am a warrior, not a, yes, my lady. I say, Kidu, the burden we must bear simply to secure my long-awaited final confrontation with Myrokos. That said, the events of today have given me cause to reflect. Myrokos and Hildy both owe to be blessed with such veritable legions of friends, tried and true. But alas, not I. No, only one true friend have I ever known, and she is long lost to me. You are a fine bird, and have given me great comfort in my travels, but you will never be in Kidu. My one true companion, oh, my friend. Were you here with me, even Myrokos could not stand against our combined might. Oh, Enkidu, wherever you may wander, hear my words and return here to my side. Enkidu, do you hear me? Enkidu? Uh-oh. Ye God, what was that flash from the heavens? It nearly blinded me. And what? The crystals? Where have they gone? Fancy meeting you here, old friend. That voice, could it be my faithful companion? Why must you always make me wait so? Wait, did Greg just summon a primal in the streets of Ul'dah? Her last vow. Julian would send you on your way. Why are you dilly-dallying around? Or what are you doing dilly-dallying around here? Let me jog your memory. There's a moonsick maid digging around at the Seldy excavation site with her mind set on turning Ul'dah into the land of the walking dead. Your concern for Hildy is most touching, but don't you worry. Mommy Dearest isn't going to let her beloved son kick the bucket that easily. I don't know. He somehow seems better this way. What do you think? Alright. We've managed to track down Miss Ellie just up ahead, where your friends watch over her as we speak. Yet no matter how many times we try to reach out to her, she refuses to so much as answer. Needless to say, we considered physically incapacitating her, but that crate she's sitting on isn't just a makeshift chair, it's filled to the brim with the traitor's sperm. One misstep and the consequences could be dire indeed. You are our only hope, Myrokos, even in her single-minded rage. Surely the time you spent together must still count for something. You need not put yourself into undue danger. I only ask that you step forth where your voice may be heard and call out your friend's name. I beg of you, Myrokos. Surely if anyone can convince the woman to abandon her madness, it is you. Okay, chat mode, and say, use the word to call out Ellie with exclamation point, and convince your erstwhile friend to companion to listen to reason. There she is. Okay. Oh, to think this girl and her sister were behind the crimes all along. I dare say this realm is awash with capable adventurers. Capable adversaries. You do well not to anger the last friend. She's sitting atop an ample supply of that zombie powder, and I suspect she's not afraid to use it. Miss Ellie. And I thought we were friends. It beggars belief that I could have been so blind. Myrokos, I suggest you leave this place while you still can. I bear you no grudge, but should you so much as think of interfering, I'll not hesitate to turn you into a zombie too. Oh, so much for relying on the power of friendship. So it was you after all. Consider me disappointed. Your sister, Sassy, is already in custody. Surrender now, and I will see that no harm befalls her. How little you understand us, Inspector. Then again, how could one born into a life of power and privilege ever hope to understand? Sassy and I have no family, no friends, no fortune, nothing. Two sisters against the world, with only our quest for justice to give us meaning. Long ago, we made a vow. Should the worst happen, our mission takes priority over all. Yes, over our own wretched lives. Do you see now? Anything I might have once had, to lose? I lost long ago. Now stand down, or suffer the same fate as the Uldon dogs you would defend. Ellie, stop this madness. I'm sorry, Inspector. There's too many. All in a day's work problem. Delay the inevitable. I have an entire legion of the undead at my beck and call. Face it, it's only with Inspector Hildibrand's ridiculously good fortune that you even made it this far. And he's as good as 6 forms on. Be forewarned, girl. Know that I speak from experience when I say underestimate Hildy, and you do so at your own peril. Ooh. Unfortunately. I am afraid you underestimate me as well. No mere splash of holy water can stave off the effects of the traitor's spell. I fear the good inspector's luck has finally run out. Those balls, is there no end to them? I'm not liking our chances. Greg, was it? It's a shame to lose you, Myrokos, warrior like you are. You might yet have served one last purpose for us. Go forth, my zombie minions. The zombie overlord returns. Darkness falls and hope fades to despair. 4 warriors born of light shall descend in righteous glare. Welcome me with a broadsword. Are my eyes to be believed? That pose? No, these are not 4 warriors of light, I see. They're 4 gentlemen. Oh my god, get that blank another. Just so, my goodness. Hildibrand, agent of the area, Inspector Extraordinaire, has made his triumphant return. Did you miss me? Aye, we meet again, girl. Tell me you've got my snowball tonic, or I'll fashion myself a wig from your lovely locks after I've ripped them clean from your bloody head. Oh, hello there, Mr. Eleazar. Bar, you're looking absolutely resplendent today. Impossible. The holy water kept curing him. It didn't. Fortunately, our overlord spent quite some time building up an immunity to zombie powder. When we heard that Master Hildibrand was at risk of joining the actual dead, we knew we had to take action. And immunity to... I'm just going to pretend that makes any kind of sense. The game is up, Miss Ellie. Pray abandon this madness. Besides, plots of mass murder hardly suit a lady like yourself. It's over. It's all over. Inspector Bryden, you said that there was something you would tell me when all was through. I imagine you have no words for me now. Ellie, your powers of deduction are wanting. You said that you had lost everything and everyone you had to lose, did you not? As for me, I have found something. Someone with whom I intend never to part. I care not if it takes years, even decades. When you emerge from your jail cell a free woman, I will be there. What say you? Miss Ellie, while the crimes perpetrated by you and your sister are unpardonable, you are far from the only ones guilty. On behalf of the Syndicate, I offer my apologies for the false aspersions cast upon your ancestors. You said that the nation of Ulda was built on lies. Seeing what I have seen today, I cannot deny your words. It will not be an easy task to rewrite, nay, restore history, but know this, I will do everything in my power to bring the truth to the fore. Ahem. Are we not forgetting someone here? And by someone, I mean me. If you're quite done playing Cloak and Dagger, I require Myrokos' presence for a matter of far greater importance. The time of our too long delayed confrontation is nigh. Really? Why the long face, friend? But mayhap this will have you singing a happier tune. Oh! Could it be the treaty blade? And the true one at that. None other. And I have not the slightest intention of parting with it, save to the one who would defeat me in single combat. Ah, but I misspeak. It will not be single combat this time. Is that my cue, old friend? Yeah, he summoned a primal. And how no one in Ul'dah noticed, I will never know. Thal be merciful. What is that abomination? Some new breed of void scent? Abomination? I'll thank you to address my companion with courtesy, girl. Ah, but 'twas the most curious thing. There I was, hauling a crate full of crystals for Hildy's mother, and thinking how much better things would be if my dear friend Enkidu were here. Then came a flash from the heavens, and the next thing I knew, there she was. By the gods, it makes perfect sense. Doubtless the crystals heard Greg's heartfelt plea, summoning forth his friend. Nay, no mere friend, but rather the primal Enkidu. A primal. Oh, good heavens. And the world has now completely and utterly ceased to be bound by the laws of logic. Well, I wouldn't be so certain about that, given the fact that, Shiva was summoned rather similarly. So... Myrokos, you may have bested me in the past, but facing the two of us together will not prove it so easy a task. And yet, I trust you will not shirk from the challenge. I, Enkidu, and I shall await you at Amdapor Keep. 'Tis a ways from here, but what better venue for our climactic confrontation? If you would claim the treaty blade, then claim it from me as a warrior. To the skies, Enkidu, to the skies. Two against one? That's not very gentlemanly of you, Greg. Come, Myrokos, to Amdapor. This is a grave development indeed. To think that one man could summon a primal on his own. We must send word to the Scions at once. I'm a Scion, and I'm the one who deals with the primals. Yeah. Oh, but of course, I had nearly forgotten we had a warrior of light in our midst. Please, Myrokos, you are our only hope to slay the primal and reclaim the blade. As usual. Ahem. Is that you, Myrokos? Pray forgive me, I was right on Greg's trail when I encountered a subterranean curiosity that demanded my immediate attention. I will be concluding my investigation forthwith, but in the meantime might I trouble you to entertain Greg and his primal friend in my stead? Together we'll reclaim the treaty blade from that knave Myrokos? Yes. Just go on ahead. I'll be along directly. We wait. And here we go. Healers are down. Oh my goodness. that wasn't a bad fight. Never again. This I do solemnly swear. Yeah, until the next time. Not. Okay. What ho, Myrokos? Have you seen Greg and his oversized avian companion? Lead me to them at once, and we shall deliver the coup de grace together. Too late. Already kicked his butt. The battle has already been won. That is triumphant news indeed. Clearly, the lessons you have learned from me have not been for naught. And what's this, you say? The treaty blade lies hidden somewhere in the nearby wood? Worry not, my ever-loyal associate, for no buried treasure will escape the keen eyes of Hildibrand, agent of inquiry and inspector extraordinaire. Now, which way was the forest again? Myrokos, what news of the primal and the treaty play? Remarkable. I knew the Warrior of Light would emerge triumphant. Let us hope that Inspector Hildibrand enjoys similar success in finding the blade. Such design, such craftsmanship, at once bold and powerful, yet sensitive and refined. I believe I found the inspiration for my next masterpiece. Of course they're beautiful. They were the greatest treasures of lost Sildi. To think that they were locked away in the vaults of those that destroyed our homeland and dragged our ancestors' name through the mud. And just how did you come to know of these long-lost relics? There was an ancient scroll passed down in our family, left to us by our dear grandmother. It spoke of the 4 warriors of light, their 4 relics, and an incantation of untold power. If we could have wielded the magic of legend, Ellie and I might still have had the last laugh. Alas, speaking the words had no effect. Only a warrior of light can wield the power, or so the legend goes. What I wouldn't have given to see it. The ultimate achievement of the greatest mages this realm has ever known. And just what sort of incantation is this? The ring casts open the doors of justice. The wise man whispers a verdict true. Azima's virtue shines down from the heavens. To complete the incantation, the Warrior of Light would then hold forth the treaty blade and speak, "Blade in hand, I swear unto you." The legends differ as to what happens next, but all speak of a great holy radiance shining down from the heavens. Over here, friends, Inspector Hildibrand, Agent of Inquiry, Inspector Extraordinaire, returns with tidings most triumphant. Behold, safe in my hands, none other than the treaty blade, and the real one this time, I swear unto you. Yes, yes, just like that. I swear unto you. Then... My word, whatever is this odd tingling sensation? Ridiculous! Hildibrand isn't a warrior of light. He's just some fool who thought he could stop the lesser moon with his own bare hands. It would seem the treaty blade is just as confused as the rest of us. No, the light. Someone stop it. It won't stand to see the legendary power of our forefathers wielded by this muscle-bound buffoon. Skyward ho! Oh my goodness. Well, I dare say that proved to be a most useful incantation indeed. And so the light of justice that shone from the treaty blade banished the shadow, returning peace to the land. So the legend ended. I must say I never expected it to be quite so literally a beam of light. I suppose it wouldn't have been much use to us after all. Inspector! Oh, Inspector, wait for me! Yep, that's the real Nashu. Thal's balls, Hildy. First you almost die at your poor mother's feet, and now you fly off to God's nowhere without even giving her a kiss goodbye. Oh no. Ho ho ho, it appears that a case of wanderlust has once again struck Hildibrand, as it has many a Manderville man before him. Godspeed, my boy. When the day comes that you tire of your mystery solving, your dear old man will be here to pass on to you the family art. So in the end, the Sildine incantation of legend was wielded not by a warrior of light, but a gentleman of light. Well, the treaty blade is some 6 centuries old after all. Perhaps it is not quite as sharp as it used to be. Oh, that's hilarious. The magic that brought peace and happiness to the people of Balladia. It was every bit as beautiful as I imagined. To think I would see it with my own eyes. It's nothing short of a dream come true. He bumbles and stumbles through yet another case, and still he manages to make a girl's dream come true. A gentleman to the end. The bloody bastard. What's this? A glint in the corner of my eye? A curious scent wafting in on the winds from a far-flung land? Do I smell a case? Worry not for me, my friends. When the long want for succor, I, Hildibrand, shall be there. And I think with that, the end of the quest line is done. Okay, so, that's that, I guess. If you liked what you saw, please give a like, share, and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. If you are watching this on YouTube, it's always better to watch it live. You can follow me on Twitch, link is in the description. If you're watching this on Twitch and you care to give a follow, and hit the bell for notifications. And with that, I will see you anon, friends.